Good afternoon, Francis Hunt from Blue Crane Properties, chatting with you again today. Everyone's been talking, in fact there's a lot of media coverage about the current property crash. I just sat down and I thought about this for a while and I thought, how has property done? What's been my experience? Where are we exactly? What are the facts? Well, I left South Africa in July/August of 1999. It was just pre the millennium period, and all my family was together by October in 1999. And at the time I arrived, the primary index in the UK, that being the FTSE 100, stood at 6,932. So October 99, index value 6,932. Let's have a look at what it is today. Today, that being 2008, 4,800. So let's get this straight. This market would need to recover 44% just to get back to where it was when I very first came into the United Kingdom from South Africa. 44% climb. That would not reflect any growth. In fact, when inflation and other matters are taken into account, it would still be very far behind. However, to return to where it was when I arrived, it requires a 44% capital appreciation. Wow, isn't that something? And in case you're thinking, well, we're South Africans, we're based in SA or any other offshore destination. Well, the JSE at the moment, I understand, is in and around 22,900. Now, it may have been a fair bit lower than that, but you've got to take into account a lot higher inflation rate, rand devaluation in those 8+ years. And I think you'll find equities have actually been rather disappointing. Bear in mind, these are actually indices, and the best funds rarely beat a tracker on the primary indice. Bear that in mind. So your best managed portfolios do well to outperform, and on balance most of them underperform a tracker based funds on the primary indices. Makes you think a little, doesn't it? Well, I thought a little bit about property now, and I thought let's compare another experience of mine. So I've done another chart for you. I realised quite early on in coming into the UK it was a valuable thing to get on the housing market. Apart from the emotional and the comfort of having your own home, there wasn't an investment element even to a personal home. So I got on the property ladder fairly quickly, and in April 2004 I got probably the most affordable house in St Albans at the time, an ex-council house. It was on a corner, it was semi-detached. That meant it was stuck to another house if you're from SA and you wonder what that means. It didn't have any floor down it, just concrete. I had to put the floor down, and I purchased it in 2000 for £159,000. This was a home that was built by the council for people that required housing in St Albans, and it was usually most of the area for people that were receiving some form of income support. So we're not talking the top end of the market by any means here. In 2000, 159,000. Today, its current value, £365,000. 365,000 for a 3/4 bedroom house with 1 reception room, semi-detached. That's 130% over a shorter period than the index that we compared on the previous sheet. 130% in capital growth for one of the bottom of the market properties in a nice town like St Albans. I left that property in 2004 for a better one, and I began to let it. In other words, I didn't want to sell the property. I chose to turn it into a proper investment property, and my first rental that I received in 2004, and I'm talking just 4 years ago, £895 per calendar month was paid to me as a cash flow on the property, and that more than serviced the mortgage at the time. Today, 2008, it's currently let, it's always out very, very quickly. £1,175 per calendar month it's fetching. So on top of the 4-year time frame, which is not nearly as big a time frame as we're comparing here, we've had a 24% increase in rent. So let's get this straight. Property is the thing that's crashing, that everybody's so concerned about, and at the moment I've had a 24% increase in my cash flow over a 4-year period. I've had a 130% capital appreciation over a 8-year period, and in the same time the FTSE 100 will require a 45% virtually to get back to where it was when I first entered the country, over a massive 8.5 years of investment time. And that's if you're lucky. That's if your funds attained the indices based performance. And as I've already stated once, most managed funds fail to outperform the primary index. That should make you think for a little bit. Just to cap off on this clip today, worst case scenario in terms of pricing, and on very, very low volume, in other words in the UK, people are reluctant to sell in a bad market. So on very, very low volume, this is forced sellers we're talking now, we're still where we were in 2006, late 2006, with the minor falls that we have had. So it's clear that in terms of these kind of market conditions, it's only really the forced sellers and people hold on to their stock because property is undersupplied in the UK and the demand is broadly very, very high. Thank you for listening to us today. Consider these facts next time people are talking to you about the property situation, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Goodbye.